All right, so here we're going to look at the exercise. So we're going to practice journalizing. So here on April 5th, we purchased 1,000 units at $5 each, with the freight costing $100 on an account. Terms are 5%, 10, net 30. In this case, we're just going to assume gross method. So in this case, let's go ahead and journalize the purchase of 1,000 toys on an account. So, April 5th, what are we going to journalize?
So that would be, so purchase would be inventory.
It would be inventory, good.
Okay, inventory for 850, I guess.
What was that?
Inventory and then account payable.
Good. Inventory and accounts payable. Okay, for how much?
I got 850, right?
850. So this is 1,000 units at $5 each.
So you take the discounts right away, right?
No, in this case, no. We're assuming gross method.
Okay. 1,000.
5,000.
100.
1,000, good, 5,100, right? Because in this case, we're including all costs and then we're going to associate them all into inventory. So good, 5,100, right? And of course, I'm going to make a note here that I purchased 1,000 units at $5 each. Okay. You could put Copies Co., right? And I'm also going to put 5%, 10, net 30. Right? So then on April 7th, I ended up returning 200 damaged units for a full refund. So how am I going to journalize this?
Is the purchase returns and allowance?
Okay, so remember, in this case, right, we're looking at perpetual inventory. Where are we going to be taking it out? There's no reason to do a purchase returns and allowances.
That's right, on inventory.
You're going to take it right out of inventory. So in this case, right, so it's 4,700. So first off, how did I pay for it? If I'm going to get a full refund,
Accounts payable.
accounts payable, good. We're going to reduce because I didn't make a payment yet. So automatic assumption is I'm going to reduce the amount that I owe, and we know we're going to take it away from inventory. So in this case, right, I am returning a total of 200 damaged units at $5 each. So in this case, how much am I going to get a refund for?
I got 1,000.
Yes. Right? 200 times $5 is 1,000. Right? Return 200 units at $5 each, full refund. Okay. Good. So then April 10, we purchased another 750 units at $5.75 each, with the freight costing $75. $0.75 on an account. Terms were 5%, 10, net 30. So April 10, we purchased 750 units at $5.75 each. Freight was 75.
You're gonna debit inventory for 40, where's my calculator? 4387.50.
Mm-hmm.
And credit accounts payable for the same amount.
Perfect. Okay, so again, inventory, and we have it for accounts payable. All right, for 4387.50. Right, everything's going to be included into inventory. So now we're going to make a note that I purchased 750 units at $5.75 each. Okay. And I was given terms 5%. Is it 10 net 30? Yes, 5%, 10 net 30. Okay. So that's the journal, and that's what it looks like. Okay. Next that we have here is on April 15. Okay, we end up returning 50 broken mugs due to shipment for a full refund. I'm going to be returning 50 broken mugs for a full refund. How should I journalize this?
So account payable for 285, debit, and copy, what was that, inventory, payment amount, 285, right?
285. So how did you calculate that?
Oh, how many will return?
I think we are returning 50 of them.
Okay, 50 times by 5.75,
Okay?
right?
Yep, that's right. So we can't return.
285.
285 is what you got. So 50 times 575 is let's do it again. 50 times 575,
287.
287.50, yes. Okay, so we are going to be refunding for $287.50. Okay. And I'm also going to make a note here that I return 50 broken units at $5.75 each. Full refund. Okay? Good. So then what happened on April 20th?
And debit inventory for 1220 and credit accounts payable for 1220.
Good, excellent. So on April 20th, we purchased inventory, right? We purchased 200 items at $6 each, which brings us to $1,200 plus $20 of freight gives you $1,220. Good. All right. And I'm also going to make a note here because we're making a purchase of inventory here that we purchased 200 units at $6 each. Okay. Which we were also once again given terms of 5%, 10, net 30. Okay. Good. All right, and then on the 22nd of April, 25 of those units were the wrong color, and we're willing to accept a 20% discount. So in this case, how are we going to journalize this? If we're only trying to attempt to return 25 of those units, but the vendor convinced us to keep those items and give us a 20% discount off of those 25 items. So, how am I going to journalize this?
Is it gonna be accounts payable?
Accounts payable, okay.
I got $30. Did I get the math right?
Okay, so let's see. If each item was $6, right? And we're returning 25 of them.
I got 150,
Okay, and then we're going to multiply that by 20%.
which is 0.20. I got $30.
Exactly, good. So in this case, 20% is going to give us $30 back. Okay, and where are we?
Sorry?
Correct. We're going to credit inventory for $30. Yep. And of course, I'm going to make a note here that I got an allowance for 25 units at $6 each for 20% discount. Okay? Excellent. Right? Last couple. So here we have on April 20. Oh, that's 22nd. Okay, so April 25th, I end up purchasing another 500 units at $6.25 each, with a freight costing $50. Once again, on an account, terms are 5%, 10, net 30. So in this case, right, I purchased another 500 units at $6.25. All right. So how am I going to journalize this?
So I said inventory for 3,000 and 175. 3175.
Good. So inventory and accounts payable, right? We're going to take 625 times it by the 500, which should give you 3125, plus $50 of freight gives you 3175. Plus, I'm going to make it a little note here saying that I purchased 500 units at $6.25 each. Terms are 5%, 10 net 30. All right. Last but not least, on April 30th, we're going to make a payment for all 4 purchases on 4 separate checks. Okay, so I'm going to write 4 checks for each purchase that I've made. All right, so let's go ahead and review our purchases. So we made a purchase on April 5th, but we returned 200 of those items. So in this case, let's take a look at our transaction. All right. When we originally purchased 1,000 units, it cost me a grand total of $5,100. But when I returned 200 of those items, I reduced my amount by 1,000. So in this case, how much in grand total am I going to make a payment for? Okay, if I owe 5,100 and I returned 1,000, good, 4,100, right? Now, question here is, did I make the terms? Did I make the discount period? No, I missed it, right? Because they gave me 10 days, so I had till the 15th. I already missed it. So in this case, I have to pay it in full for the 4,100. All right? So again, April 30th, we're going to make a payment. So how am I going to reflect or journalize a payment? To Cuppy's Co.
Accounts payable.
Accounts payable, right? You're going to pay off what you owe. Okay? And what else?
Inventory.
Not inventory. We're making a payment here. What was the last thing that you said?
It's checking.
Right. We're making a payment through checking, or we're writing a checkout. So in this case, checking is going to be for the 4,100, right? That's what we solved for. So in this case, I'm going to make sure that I write here that I'm going to make a payment to Cuppy's Co. All right? And I'm going to say for purchases on April 5th, right? And we're going to use check number 1. This is our first check that we're writing out. Okay. So then, now let's take a look at our second batch of purchases, right? We purchased something on April 10, but we end up returning 50 mugs there. So let's go ahead and take a look. So for purchasing those 750 mugs, I got $4,387.50. But because we end up returning 50 of those items, we end up returning $287.50. So in this case, how much do I actually owe my vendor?
$41.87.50.
Okay, so we have $43.87.50 minus $287.50. So how much in grand total do I owe my vendor?
$4,100.
$4,100. Now let's take a look at this. Did I meet my discount period? Did I meet the terms? No. I only had till April 20th to pay them to get my 5% discount in this case. I missed it once again. So that's okay. So how am I going to journalize this payment here?
It'll be accounts payable.
Accounts payable, good. We're paying off what we owe.
And we're making a payment, right?
Correct.
So that would be checking again, correct?
Yes, because we're paying with a check. All right, so in this case, we already calculated to be 4,100. Right? So now, I'm going to make a note here that I made a payment to Cuppy's Co. Okay. For purchases on April 10. Okay. Comma, check number 2, since this is my second check that I wrote. All right. So now let's go ahead and take a look at my third purchase here. So I purchased on April 20th, right? I purchased 200 units, but I ended up getting an allowance, right? A 20% discount off of these 25 units. So let's go ahead and take a look at that journal. All right, so here on the 20th, I made a purchase for $12.20. Okay, but I end up returning $30. So how much do I owe in grand total?
1,190.
$1,190. But take a look at this. Did I make my discount period or terms? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So in this case, right, how am I going to calculate my 5% discount?
So it's $59 discount. 9, 11, 9. That's how much we owe.
You said 11.9 is what you owe them?
No, 1190 minus 59. You see what I got? 1190 minus 59.
Okay. Now, the 1190, what does the 1190 actually include? What does that include?
So 1190 is how much our accounts payable.
Right, good. But what does that include?
So that include with the return. Okay.
Yeah, okay. But what else is include? Like why is my total 1190? What else is in there that's in the inventory that I'm not supposed to discount?
Oh, the freight.
Correct.
Okay. So how much was the freight? I can't.
The freight was
$20.
$20. So here we originally purchased it, right? 200 at $6, but the freight was $20. So in this case, you need to subtract that $20 out from 1190. Sorry, I think I pulled. Okay, there you go. So you have to subtract $20 from 1190 to get 1170. that is the amount that I can actually discount for. So in this case, what is 5% of 1170?
5850.
5850, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right. So in grand total, I owe 1190, correct? That's just my grand total without my discount, is that I owe in grand total 1190. Okay. Now, how can I journalize this to reflect that I got a discount, and how much am I actually going to actually pay them now that I got the discounted amount?
What would be inventory
Inventory, right? We're taking the discount right out from inventory.
and then check.
Yes, and then checking. Good. So again, what was the calculated amount? 5850.
Yes.
So then therefore, how much is my check going to be?
So 113150.
1131.50 is correct. All right. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and make a statement here saying I writing this check out to Cuppy's Co. for purchases on 420. Okay. And here I'm going to write that I received a 5% discount. Okay. And that I wrote this on check number 3. So once again, we're taking a look at how much we owe in grand total, right? Including the returns and allowances. But we have to keep in mind that the inventory that we calculate, right, is a grand total of all the costs, including to get the asset to the store. So we have to keep in mind that we must subtract out the freight or shipping costs or whatever costs, right, that you cannot discount for. So in this case, we took the amount of 1220, right? That was the original amount, minus the returns and allowances, which was for $30, to give us 1190. But we can't calculate $20 of it because it's to freight. You can't discount freight. So our amount that we can discount is 5% off of 1170. All right? And that's how we take it out, right? Since we're not making a payment for the 1220 or the 1190, we're only making a payment for 1131 and 50 cents. All right? Excellent. All right. Last but not least, right? We have our last purchases here, right? We purchased something on the 25th of April, okay? Here, we purchased 500 units at $625 with a cost of $50 for freight. And in this case, right, let's take a look at that journal. On the 25th of April, we didn't make any returns or any allowances, so my grand total is $31.75. However, did I meet terms?
Yes.
Yes. So in this case, I need to calculate 5% off of my 500 times the 625. So in this case, what is going to be my total discounted amount?
$156.25.
What was that?
$126.25.
Okay,
15625.
15625. Okay, how did you calculate that?
I just took the total units times the cost minus the 5%.
Okay, so we're not minusing. Okay, so Correct.
And that's what, and I didn't add the freight costs. I just did
Perfect.
the total for the unit.
Perfect. So in this case, that's correct. So we have, okay, so we have the discounted amount for $156.25. So how are we going to journalize this and make a payment for it?
It would be accounts payable, inventory, checking,
And checking. Good. So in this case, right, what was the grand total amount that I owe?
um,
31.75.
31.75, right? How much was my discount for?
$156.25.
All right, so therefore, what is going to be my total check that I'm going to be writing out for?
$31.75 minus $156.25.
Mm-hmm. So what's my grand total there that I'm going to be writing my check out for?
Oh, 3,018.75.
Oh, you waiting for me?
Did you hear it?
Yeah. Well, anybody, can someone, is that,
Yeah.
$3,018.75.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
okay. So 3,018.75. Good. And I'm going to go ahead and make a note here. Puppies Co. Right? For purchases on 4/25. Okay. And I'm also going to write that I made 5% discount. Okay. And that I wrote this on check number 4. Okay. And that is how we journalize our purchases of inventory with purchase returns and make a payment for the discount. So, any questions here?
No.
All right. So, looking at the time right now, it's already 11:10. I'm just actually gonna push the next part of chapter 7 for tomorrow, and just call it a day.